Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. Today we're going to do another segment of Brian Reads the News. This one comes to us from Ranker.com. It's titled Wild Conspiracy Theories About the Beatles from Clones to Witches. It's by Lee Cooper, updated January 2nd, 2025. Let's get into it. Decades after they changed the pop culture landscape, the Beatles still inspire sound-alikes, adulation, and a whole barrel full of conspiracy theories, from Paul being dead, songs about demonic possession, and the Illuminati. People are pretty sure that the lads from Liverpool were up to no good. A couple theories even involve other famous people like Stephen King and Michael Jackson. Fall down the rabbit hole of Beatles conspiracy theories and try to stay sane as things get very curious. Take a moment to vote on your favorite Beatles conspiracies. Conspiracy number 1 is that every member of the Beatles died and was replaced, except Paul. In 1994, college student Chris Fizzle devised evidence that instead of Paul being passed, was every other member of the Beatles who had actually gone on to the great beyond. Fizzle argues that Ringo Starr was supposedly the first to go in 1963. He was then followed by George Harrison in 64 and John Lennon in 65. Conspiracy theory number 2, Helter Skelter, Charles Manson's telepathic connection to the Beatles. Prior to the Tate LaBianca incident in 1969, Charles Manson believed that he shared telepathic connection with the lads from Liverpool, so much so that he was pretty sure that the White Album was speaking directly to him and asking him to incite a race conflict. Obviously, this was not the case, but the entire Beatles-Manson connection is worth a read if you have a day to spend with a little conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory number 3, Stephen King killed John Lennon. You're probably thinking to yourself, why would Stephen King want to take down John Lennon? Lucky for you, Stephen Lightfoot spells it out on his website. Lightfoot states Stephen King, Nixon, and Ronald Reagan, all of them acted on behalf of the CIA and communicating through the headlines in Time, Newsweek, and other similar periodicals worked together to take out John Lennon. Maybe King was planning on putting the ex-Beatle in a pet cemetery. Until the author comes forward with the truth, we'll never know. Conspiracy theory number 4. The Beatles were in a coven of rock and roll witches. In the song Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Paul sings that it was 20 years ago today, and to those convinced of satanic Beatles conspiracy, of course Paul was referring to the passing 20 years prior of Satan's earthbound buddy Aleister Crowley. From there, one can easily connect the dots, and 20 or 30 entirely rhetorical and totally tenuous connections later, we find that the Beatles were part of a Hollywood-era satanic covenant established by Crowley and frequented by the other devil worshippers, including the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin. Conspiracy theory number 5. Across the Universe is about demonic possession. David Richards is pretty sure that John Lennon was trying to summon a demon when he sang "Nothing's Gonna Change My World." In a post on John Macau's site, he writes that John Lennon sings "Gai Guru Devu, all hail to the divas." In Theosophy, a diva is a spiritual entity which exists behind the scenes manipulating and directing human behavior. Luciferians believe they are possessed by these entities when they harm innocent people. Conspiracy theory number 6, Paul McCartney is a clone. In a spin on the Paul is past theory, a small contingent of folks have realized that Paul McCartney isn't actually past at all. He's a clone. After his accident in France, Paul was taken by the Illuminati and turned into one of the 4 types of clones. There isn't enough time to get into that. The case for the theory, Paul was a terrible bass player and super cheap. Conspiracy theory number 7. Mark David Chapman worked for the CIA and President Reagan. One of the more prominent theories surrounding the slaying of John Lennon is that Mark David Chapman wasn't unhinged, but was actually a CIA patsy programmed to take people out on demand. As the theory goes, for whatever reason, Lennon's aesthetic was a threat to the Reagan-era America. Therefore, the president put together a team to take him down. Conspiracy theory number 8. The Beatles never broke up in an alternate dimension. Out of all the crazy mumbo-jumbo on this list, this is probably the lamest attempt at cashing in on Beatles nostalgia. In 2009, this website appeared online and asked readers to believe that a cassette tape of an unheard Beatles album called Everyday Chemistry had surfaced from an alternate dimension. While this sounds cool, the album is actually a mashup of the Beatles' solo output. Conspiracy theory number 9. The Beatles conspired to take out Pete Best, the OG drummer. In this laugh-out-loud theory, a guy going by the name of L. Gunblade details a month-by-month timeline of the Beatles' plot to kill the original drummer, Pete Best. The best claim is that the Beatles rigged Best's drum to go up in flames at the end of a gig in Germany. And finally, conspiracy theory number 10. The Beatles plus Michael Jackson. In 2002, decades after Michael Jackson shocked the world and his friend Paul McCartney by outbidding everyone on the Beatles song catalog, the man in the mirror addressed the press saying that a conspiracy was launched against him when he started breaking record sales set by the Beatles. Flanked by attorney Johnny Cochran and civil rights leader Al Sharpton, he claimed the industry that had once supported him would not tolerate him surpassing the Beatles, so they launched a conspiracy to slander him. In an added twist, some people claim that MJ wanted to return the lucrative catalog to Paul, perhaps in a gesture of peace, but was taken down by greedy insiders desperate to make sure that didn't happen. There you have it, another successful segment of Brian Reads the News. Again, this one was brought to us by Ranker.com, titled Wild Conspiracy Theories About the Beatles from Clones to Witches. What do you guys think? Do you believe in any of these conspiracies? Put in the comments section which one of these is actually believable, or are they all just bogus? And if you like these types of videos, don't forget to take a second to subscribe to my channel. There I am, easy to find, just my name, Brian Kingsbury, on YouTube. Currently sitting at 1.07 thousand subscribers with 4.3 thousand videos. So there's plenty for you to watch up there. Go on up there, watch a few videos, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time a new video drops. If you could do me a big favor, give this video a big thumbs up on your way out. When you hit that thumbs up button, it puts it in front of a few more eyes trying to build the channel, and I appreciate your help. Thanks for watching this one to the very end. Again, I'm Brian Kingsbury. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.